Hi guys, here's our week 16 review. As always, we start with timeline. We did the same thing today that we've been doing the past couple weeks, where we will sing it through, and then after we sing it through, I have everyone turn around and I take off the card and hide it, and then I say, okay, everybody turn around. The first one to tell me which card is missing gets to pick the next card off. Something I actually did this week, because I have a kid going for Memory Masters, I started saying the previous card. So last week we ended with 7 Years War. Especially whenever we're starting with a new section of a song, it's hard to remember, after you get to 7 Years War, like it doesn't continue because it's a new section of the song. So in order to kind of stitch those together, I said 7 Years War, and they started singing Age of Industry, circa 1760 to circa 1969. And so to play that game, we just continue. After I take it off, the person who guessed it first gets to take the next one off, and it gets harder and harder as more and more are missing. You have to remember which ones were missing before and which one is new missing, and then which one that is. You don't have as much to pull from whenever Madison's Constitution and French Revolution is gone and your Second Great Awakening is now missing. For math, we have the area of a rectangle. I have a geometry song that goes for all the weeks that we're doing the geometry. This song goes like the area of a rectangle equals length times width. And we sang that, and then I gave them some just random numbers for the length and the width. And a lot of them were a lot easier. This is the last one, 18 and 6. Somebody got to come up and write what the area was. They did A equals, and then they just said whatever the area was by multiplying these two together. So that was really quick. Not taking a whole lot of time for them to do this. This is again, just our last one. And then we sing it again. The area of a rectangle equals length times width. And while they're singing, I'm already changing the numbers. For Latin, we have ex sine ipso factum est, nihil quod factum est. In English, and with him nothing, and without him nothing was made that was made. And so once we sing it through one time, so I'll pick somebody to come up, and they will draw a line. Et means and whenever I see them make that connection, I'll try to review our chant or whatever we said for that week. So and that, non, not. So it's also kind of like reviewing. Remember, we learned this vocabulary. This is the chant that we learned when we learned this vocabulary. Just trying to pull that in to them matching these words up. For English, I just did voice sticks. I forgot to write it down, but I thought to just do the down by the riverside clap game, as they say, to go, go, go. Go goes, went, going, gone, and whoever got hit on gone would be out. But alas, my brain didn't think of that as I had the previous night, so just voice sticks. It's just said, conjugated that in different voices. My verse this week kind of pertains to what we're learning in hands-on science with the chemical reaction of baking soda and vinegar, and how once those are put together, you have a whole new molecules and mixtures and compounds. You no longer have the same two substances that you started off with. So 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. Just trying to pull that in, that, when we bring Jesus into our lives, he makes us new. It's a whole new creation. We're not the same. Vinegar is no longer going to be vinegar after you add baking soda to it. For science, what are the first 4 elements of the periodic table? This has a song, so we are doing the song to it. I'll sing it, and I can also link it. It's, I think it's a CC approved song. I think it's on the CC Connected, but I found it on YouTube. It goes like this. What are the first 12 elements of the periodic table? By number, element, symbol, and atomic mass. If I can get it off. 1 hydrogen, H1. 2 helium, He4. 3 lithium, Li7. 4 beryllium, Be9. My helium had balloons attached to it, but the boys were fighting over it today and broke it. So yeah, we just sing that, and as we went through, they would hang it back up. We went through that a couple times, and then I tried quizzing them because it doesn't actually say hydrogen on here. I would quiz them and say, okay, 1, and I need them to say hydrogen. H1, I would say 2, and they would have to say helium, just so that they're hearing it without me saying it. For history, we did, let me grab something. We did something a little bit different. I've done it before. I had these just posted all over the room, the sticky stuff. So I just had a bunch of blanks. And so when we got to history, I said, hey guys, I forgot to fill in all of the blanks. So we're gonna listen to it a couple times, and I need your help trying to fill them back in. And so we listened to it. It's a very sad song, and I, inform them like, hey, it is a sad song. It's never funny when people are dying. It's never funny when we have to go to war. But I'm going to try to lighten up it a little bit and have some fun with this, without being disrespectful necessarily. And so I would go through, and I said, I just have some funny words. And I got all these words from Lauren. I think she has a big YouTube channel for CC Ideas. So I just got these ideas, these words from her. In 1970,000, and they're like, and so, my kids are too cool to find it like super funny, but they would find like, oh, this is the right one. So they found this wherever it was in the room, and they, put it up. I'm like, oh, okay. In 1917, I did Peter Pan. They found President Wilson. I get a bunch of eye rolls. I don't really get a whole bunch of laughs, but it's funny to some people, I think. And so so these are the words I did. 1970,000 Peter Pan costumes. Instead of World War I did Where's Waldo. Instead of Central Powers, it was Superpowers. German U-boats, it was German tissues. The Lusitania was the Jolly Roger. And Killing American Chimpanzees instead of citizens. And so we went through every time, they put a new word up, I'm like, okay, let's try this again. And so we went through several times, getting to the very last. For geography, we have a song. It helps me to have a song, and I always forget to bring a map in here. But it goes to this song of Down by the Bay. So it goes like this. These are the bays of the USA. There's Chesapeake Bay and Hudson Bay, San Francisco Bay, and Puget Sound. Pamlico Sound takes a long way around. Chesapeake Bay is in Virginia. And then I actually got out my maps on my phone. I meant to bring in a huge world map or a globe or something, but I wanted them to see Hudson Bay, that it's not just floating above the Great Lakes, that there's Canada right there. So there's the Great Lakes, and then there's Ontario above that, and then above Ontario is Hudson Bay. So I wanted them to see Hudson Bay, San Francisco Bay off California, Puget Sound up in Washington, and then go Pamlico Sound takes a long way around, and it's tucked up underneath the Chesapeake Bay. And for map time, I actually had them find these because they're a little bit harder to see. I had them find these on the marked map and circle each place, and then we went to the black and white lined map and circle each one now that they were familiar with where they were and what it looks like on the marked map. And then we did Show Me, Tell Me, and then since they all had it circled, I would just go through and say, okay, erase Puget Sound, erase San Francisco Bay, and so on. And because they marked on two maps, we did it again. Okay, turn to your first map that you had, and I told them which ones to erase and make sure everybody was erasing the right ones. For science, we had chemical reaction, talking about vinegar and baking soda coming together and what comes from that. I even pulled up, I had a board of the chemical structure of baking soda, the chemical structure of vinegar, and then what's happening. In week 19, our memory work for science, we will learn that hydrogen ions are being donated and handed off and given during that exchange. They're exchanging hydrogen ions. So we looked at how, I believe it's vinegar, has that hydrogen ion right at the end, and we can see that it's getting snatched to now we'll have carbon dioxide, water, and sodium acetate. And so I had the chemical structure of that. I'm like, okay, so this is what's happening. This hydrogen ion is getting borrowed and taken and donated to this base. And now we have these three new things. We don't have baking soda and vinegar anymore. It's no longer baking soda and vinegar. It's not these two chemical structures. It is now this string of chemical structures, three different things. We have water, we have carbon dioxide that's now in our balloon, and we have sodium acetate that settles down, probably mixing, diluting in the water some. And for art, we did Norma and Rockwell. We did not follow art with Allie this time, but we just had, Courtney had printed off some Saturday Morning Post with a big circle in it, and I had everybody think, like, just close their eyes and think of a funny moment. Think of a funny moment that you had recently, and just get a snapshot of that. And so before we started drawing, I had some people share, and then I handed out papers, and then more people were sharing as they came up with better ideas. So we had just a huge variety of different stories. It was just fun. Everybody's telling a story with their picture without writing words, and that was the goal, because Norman Rockwell always just like told stories with some humor, with some irony in his pictures. And so hopefully that got through. We went outside because it was beautiful for review, and I hope you guys have a great week going over this at home, and I will see you next week. Bye.